Every day at Port Mercy in Lake Charles, volunteers with humanitarian aid organization Friendships pick up, unload, and sort hundreds of pounds of food.
Everything that you see here right now would have gone into the garbage today. This is today's load. So imagine this every day from 2 stores alone.
Food Service Director Terry Shields has a passion for saving food like this.
There they are. That's beautiful.
Perfectly good and usable food that would be filling dumpsters without this crew saving it.
To see the waste that takes place, of course, anybody would be passionate about it.
Well, look at these tomatoes.
It's a shared passion for Shields' family. Her mother, Sandra Tipton, is the president of Friendships.
Like this ship here on the end, 1,000 tons fits in there. The ship on the other end, 1,100 tons.
Tipton says Friendships has saved 65 million pounds of food over the past 31 years, feeding people around the world in disaster areas and the needy here at home.
They had lost their job, they had gotten hurt, somebody had been laid off, or a factory had been closed. And there were just situations that you wouldn't dream in a million years could happen to us, to our neighbors, to anyone.
Some of that food ends up in this food pantry at Water's Edge Gathering, where Kelly Stawecki and a team of volunteers feed close to 1,000 people each week. Stawecki has even been known to dumpster dive.
Businesses would throw away perfectly good food that was still wrapped, and people would tell us that they were throwing it away, and we would just go get it.
It was on a December night when Kelly Stawecki was spotted here dumpster diving for thrown away food. A local restaurant manager spotted her and called the cops, but that's far from where this story ends.
One night we saw some from a neighboring business, and it was basically her just trying to take some food to feed the homeless.
Matthew Ketter with Nuke's Eatery isn't the one who called the cops, but he did report Stawecki to the business next door before he knew her motives.
Two favorites.
Now his restaurant has made a big change in saving usable food and donating it to Stawecki's crew to feed the homeless.
We weren't doing anything. We were throwing away per our guidelines just because we didn't have an outlet for it, and it actually wasn't something that we really thought of until this happy coincidence came along.
There's no state or federal guideline requiring businesses to stop the waste of usable food. Tipton says the Good Samaritan law protects those who donate food to nonprofit groups like Friendships.
There really are very good options for safely, without liability, placing that food in the hands of someone that desperately needs it.
Pastor Tony Bork sees that need every day in the homeless his church serves.
If you go to a big city, you obviously see, just driving down the road, the needs, but you don't really see that in Lake Charles, but it's there. I just think it's more secluded. You know, I think it's hidden.
Y'all be careful. Hey, Bobby.
Hey, white punk.
These woods are where Bobby calls home.
I've been off and on in these woods right here for 8 years. I've always had a job, but I always fall back on these woods.
Bobby's camp is one of 40 stops today for this group, delivering donated food, the only meal some have eaten in days.
I never was a good eater.
As soon as you hand them the food, they're hungry. I mean, they're hungry. Some go 3-4 days without anything to eat.
What's that root?
At Baker's camp, he tells us he's been on both sides before, working in the restaurant industry and now on the receiving end of precious meals that would have been waste.
I used to work in restaurants, and I've seen a lot of food go in the trash. Food that could have been given to a homeless shelter, or just even made trays and get handed out to homeless people. And it goes in the trash, and it makes me feel sad. It breaks my heart.
It breaks the hearts of these volunteers, too, who know the needs and know the surplus.
It's not fair, it's not right to throw away perfectly good food when there are hungry people. It makes no sense to me.